A few months back, I was watching a video on Jay Leno's Garage that was featuring this company that basically made like high-end car models for car owners. So if you owned like some crazy Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something, they would come in and they would scan it and they would make a completely custom model for you that was pretty big, kind of like the Ducati model from Poacher that I made, or like some of the car models that Poacher makes. You know, all the pieces basically match. They make like mini carbon fiber pieces. It's insane. And they're incredibly expensive. So I actually emailed them and asked them if they could make a model for a motorcycle. And I knew I probably wasn't going to actually do it, even if they could, because I'm not going to spend 10 grand on a model. And they told me that they don't do motorcycles right now, maybe down the road at some point, but it's not really something they do. And in my case, this is an old motorcycle, so it would be kind of hard. So I kind of put away the dream of having a model of my motorcycle that like matched my bike. Now, fast forward a few months, I was looking around because the idea was still there in my head, and I wondered if there were any companies that had made really cool, nice Triumph, like vintage Triumph motorcycle models that I could then potentially customize to make look like my bike. And I found something that was really close, which was a company that had made a 69 Bonneville actually way back in 1969. So they made this when the bike came out. Now that model was really nice. I believe it was like a 1/8 scale. And all the people on eBay were asking like $300 or more, and I made offers on those for like $150 or something like that, and none of them accepted. But then I found this 1/6 model of a 1969 Bonneville that came out in 2003, and I was able to get it on eBay for a pretty reasonable price, and it came in the mail, and yeah, it's pretty amazing. And it also smelled like cigarettes and alcohol. But that's beside the point. So here I've got the bike on my bike, and I'm going to show some differences. My bike is a 68 Triumph T100, and this bike is a 69 Triumph Bonneville. Now there's quite a few differences that you might not see at first between these two motorcycles, but the big ones are obviously the paint of the gas tank, the paint of the fenders. There's a chrome strip around the seat that my bike does not have. There's also like a grab rail on the back that I need to somehow get rid of. The handlebars are different. They're kind of like, I don't know, more the American style. Mine are more sort of the British style, like just standard handlebars. The Bonneville has 2 clocks instead of 1. Mine only has 1. And the headlight is bigger. Mine is a T100C, which was sort of a enduro kind of off-road version. Not totally off-road, but it was like a scrambler. So mine had a smaller headlight. So you can see that the headlight's a little bigger. And then my bike also on the side panels does not have the oil level like marking, and it also doesn't have the Bonneville like logo on the other side, obviously, because it's not a Bonneville. There are some other things like the shocks are different because the 69 Bonneville had went to standard shocks. Mine look different than this. But yeah, I'm going to do my best to make this thing look as much like my bike as possible. And the main things that I'm going to do are I'm going to paint it as close to the color as I can get it. For the tank, I'm going to do the fenders all just like the gray, or sort of make it look like stainless steel. I'm going to paint the seat. And I think that's the main things I'm going to do to make it look like my bike. And we'll see how it goes. Alright guys, this is the finished product, and this took quite a while. There were some hiccups along the way. I got really lucky with this paint though. So I got a bunch of different acrylic paints. Some of them had like metal flakes in them to make it look sort of shiny and looks like my bike basically. It looks like car paint. And I thought I was gonna have to do some mixing, but it turns out I didn't. This is just perfect. This paint literally is my paint. Like it looks exactly like my paint. So I was really fortunate there. The paint is not perfect on it. Like it's definitely not the same. If I could have pulled the tank off and spray painted it, then obviously it would be way nicer, but whatever, I don't care. And I think it looks pretty good. I had to do a bunch of different layers. It could probably even use another layer, honestly. The fenders turned out really good, really easy. The paint almost matches exactly the color that the fenders were already, besides the red stripe down the middle, so I didn't have to do a ton there. That was really easy. Obviously, I'm not able to change the headlight, so I left the headlight the way it is. I can't shrink the headlight, and I don't really want to attempt to fix the handlebars either because they look fine. Same with the clocks and same with the carburetor. I could cut the carburetors off and super glue one of them back on, but I'm not worried about that. And then I also painted the chrome around the seat black. So this is the finished product. It looks basically like my motorcycle. I think the untrained eye wouldn't see the differences. I see some of the differences, like there's a reflector I didn't take off and some other things, but all in all, I have a miniature version of my motorcycle, and it's a pretty big model. And yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. I really like it. Oh yeah, another difference is the brake on the front. Like the brakes were upgraded for 69 and are different, but again, these things I'm not worried about. The biggest thing was the paint, getting the paint right, and otherwise these bikes weren't really different. Like they never really changed that much in the 60s, even from like 1962, 1963, 1964, they all look pretty much the same, even the smaller models compared to the Bonnevilles. But yeah, I now have a baby Triumph. It looks like my bike just had a little baby, and it's cute. I like it. But now I gotta figure out a place to put it in my office. And yeah, if you guys have a bike and you wanna have a mini version of it and maybe paint it, I think you should do it. It's pretty fun. It's not too hard. Whatever you have, there's probably a model version of it out there somewhere that you can get and at least get close to what you have. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll see you guys in the next one. Ride safe.